don't think it's going to help with gassing. I think it's not going to work.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Do you remember back in 2018 or 2019 when Hornady Frontier was causing a bunch of issues and kabooms in guns? Well, I didn't, and I ended up buying a bunch of this stuff and ended up getting muzzle velocities that were absolutely insane. Like this, 3277 out of a 16-inch gun. Crazy. So we ended up testing a bunch of ammo, 223 and 556. Here's the atmospherics. First up, PMC, and we'll get back to the Hornady Frontier, trust me. First up, though, is PMC Bronze 223, your standard run-of-the-mill brass, just range day ammo, right? This is what we shoot steel and cardboard with. It's what we stock up on. It's good stuff. It runs really well. Here's the data for it. 2635 on the average muzzle velocity out of the BCM 11.5, suppressed with the RC2 full size. Pretty standard stuff here. Nothing to complain about. Like I said, we really enjoy this ammo, and it runs well. Here's the son of a bitch we're talking about today, Hornady Frontier. I'll get you guys the lot number later. Trust me, we'll get to that. But here's the first 10-shot group we shot out of the 11.5 this day. Having just shot the 16-inch and witnessing 20-inch barrel velocities with this ammo. Yeah, it's a full power M193, but no, it should not be running that hot out of a 16-inch gun. Also, you're going to see very impressive or scary numbers, if you will, out of the 11.5.
Well, I can definitely feel the gas to my face.
Here's the data. 30, 38 average feet per second. Here's Mr. Guns and Gear shooting an 11.5 inch, suppressed 2847. No, I don't know what the ammo was, but it was M193. And here's M193 out of an 11-inch barrel, a common data chart people use on the internet. 2834 out of the 11-inch. Okay, so about 200 FPS more with this Hornady Frontier. All right, next up, just so we know I'm not crazy or the chronograph's wrong, PMC X-TAC. At 3120 FPS, this doesn't claim to be M193, I don't believe. Some people just kind of think it is, I think, because it's 55 grain 556, but it's not technically the full NATO spec M193. So, at least to my understanding. So, knowing that, we expected and got slightly less average velocity than M193, but of course, a little bit more velocity than 223. Here's the data. 2769 feet per second. Standard deviation of 31.5. Not terribly consistent, but not atrocious. This stuff's fine. It's not what I would stock up on, but it's also a good range ammo. This shit right here is textbook. This is the good shit right here. This is Lake City / Winchester M193. This stuff is consistent. It wasn't even mine. My buddy actually just had a box. He's like, yeah, throw it on the chronograph, see what it gets. And it performed exactly how it should. Exactly how we would expect standard NATO M193 to run out of an 11.5. So here's the 10-shot group. And here is the data. 2843, perfect. Again, out of an 11-inch gun, half an inch shorter, yes, but 2834 out of an 11-inch. So this stuff runs well. Back to the Hornady, almost 200 FPS more. Okay, both M193 rounds, just 55 grain, both of them. 200 FPS more. So that introduces some problems. So here's my buddy. He had the DD 16-inch. You can see the data he got for the ammo that we ran that day. Okay. And I believe he was running his BDC reticle on his ACOG. I think the muzzle velocity he was getting was for 1150 FPS, or 3150 FPS. So his BDC was right on the money, where it should be with M193 on a 16-inch gun. Here he is changing it to 3277, which he was getting. And you can see if he had his BDC lined up at 600 meters, he'd actually be shooting 25 meters off with Hornady Frontier. Hornady, what are we doing? Okay, so it's 2024. They still got problems. I wanted to confirm these problems. So here I am today. Okay, I had taken off the suppressor, taken off the light. Didn't want to get a baffle strike because I did some research and people were getting baffle strikes back in the day. So no, I wasn't going to risk that. Here is the 150 round case of ammo that I bought from the store. Okay. Here's some numbers on the case to tell you. I think the lot number was on the front. I don't know what half this shit means, but do with it what you will. Okay, now in this box is 210 rounds worth, 7 mags worth of Hornady Frontier, meaning I bought the 150 round box you see, and then supplemented it with little 20 round boxes that you would see like in a cardboard case. Okay. Mind you, those were the same 20 round boxes that we shot the first day and got the data on. So it's a mix match of ammo here. And so what I'm doing is basically just taking 2 rounds off the top of each mag, loading it into a steel mag, and kind of trying to even the playing field here. Make sure that I'm not only shooting out of, ammo that was out of that 150 round box or ammo that was out of the supplemental 20 round boxes. Okay, so I'm trying to mix and match here and be fair and kind of control the variables that I'm thinking are there. All right. So I ended up loading obviously more than just 10 rounds, and I ended up having to test fire a bunch. The magneto speed is awesome as a chronograph. It is a little tough to set up, and I guess that's the trade-off for the price you can get them at. You can get them really cheap used. They're definitely not $500 Garmins that you just set out in front of your gun. But it did take me a couple rounds to get it right since I had the suppressor off and it wasn't the same as last time. But anyway, great chronograph. It's been awesome for all this data that we've gotten. So here is the 10 round group on the second day of testing. You can see the atmospheric data there. Yes, much less humid and a little bit more pressure. So those differences, I'm going to call them nominal, but they do apply a little bit. I should be seeing with that increase in pressure, maybe a little bit a bit of a drop of velocity. And since I don't have the can on, maybe another 5-10 feet per second drop with that added back pressure. Sometimes cans can do that. But again, it's nominal, but it's there. So I should be expecting today, testing this unsuppressed, maybe slightly less velocity than that first day when I was running it suppressed. Okay, atmospherics and gun setup considered. And of course, I did get a minor error on the 10th shot, so it's only 9 shots here. But yeah, still hot. Average muzzle velocity of 29.96 with a max of 30.58 and a standard deviation of 33.5. Look, this stuff's hot. And like I said, slightly lower average, but that was kind of expected. All right, and I did find the first box of 20 that we shot on that first day. So you can see the lot number is not where it says lot number on the back, but I think it's this. I think it's whatever is under made in the USA there. Okay. And then I found another humble jumble of numbers here. I don't know if they mean anything. Again, I don't make these boxes or know what manufacturers are using these numbers for, but it's data nonetheless, so take it as you will. And then on the bottom here, it says lot number, but coincidentally or maybe conveniently for Hornady, it's not there, but who knows. Here's the brass that I picked up. It was shooting at about 4 o'clock out of the BCM, so that was good. Granted, I'm running a Springco red and a H3 buffer from Noveski, so did get a 4 o'clock ejection there, but that was kind of expected. Anyway, no blown primers here or cases separating or anything odd to make note of with the brass. Nothing catastrophic here, but of course, still kind of pissing hot. So where does that leave us with the Hornady Frontier M193? Well, I'm definitely not going to buy it again. That's for sure. See, the problem with this whole experience for me is I didn't have, going into this, buying this ammo, I didn't have that a PhD in research and hearsay of ARFCOM and M4carbine.net and Reddit archived threads to know that this ammo is not that good. So before you say, or if you've already said, well, of course, dude, what'd you expect? That's their cheapest shit. Well, hold on. Think of me not knowing the history of this ammo, as you can see here as we scroll through ARFCOM. Not knowing the history of this ammo, walking into the store thinking, well, I don't really know what the best OTM or 75 grain or 77 grain round is for when shit hits the fan. So I guess for now I'll just get some 55 grain FMJ whenever it's on sale. M193. So I go in, I see boxes on sale of Hornady Frontier. And I'm thinking two things. One, it's got 5.56 55 grain FMJ M193 on the box. And two, it's from Hornady. So both those things being true, I'm thinking, oh, this has got to be great. It's Hornady, for God's sakes. Why would I have doubts about Hornady? You know, like I said, I didn't have the 6 years of prior knowledge of this ammo being poop. So forgive me for that. And I'm not going to buy it again. I'll probably just stock up. I'll pull the trigger on 77 grain or 75 grain stuff and call it a day. The last thing I'll say about that too is that just because it's cheap doesn't mean it has to be shitty or bad or out of spec or inconsistent. And as far as I'm concerned, it's been 6 years of a really hot, kind of technically out of spec round. So that's kind of a problem. Fix your shit, Hornady. So I'm going to go ahead and take the advice of Bang Bang 77 and not run this stuff unless I absolutely had to. And I would suggest you probably do the same if you still are sitting on some. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate any likes or comments or if you subscribe. This data was a lot of fun to collect, but it was disappointing data nonetheless. So do with it what you will. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching.